The civil war in Syria began with one line of scribble on a wall by teenagers. This scribble said, "It is now your turn, doctor." Here, the word doctor refers to President Bashar al-Assad, who had a background of trainee for an ophthalmology doctor. These teenagers were arrested and tortured, and the protesters who demanded release of these teenagers received an overreaction by the government of Syria. Thereafter, the protests demanding the resignation of President Bashar al-Assad spread over the country, and this protest soon became the armed struggle. Called the capital of revolution, Aleppo was the place where the government forces of Syria gathered the military force to mop up the rebel forces. Although there was a concern of the worst human casualties, the government force of Syria brought dozens of tanks and military forces at the borderline with Turkey to perform indiscriminate bombing against the main regions of Aleppo. Armed helicopters severely attacked with explosives and gas and drums and bombs with metal from the sky, and screams of people never stopped from demolished buildings. Infants and young children of Syrian refugees have lived under a fear of sudden bombing from everywhere since their birth, and have seen wounded people only, and they never had a peaceful daily life. To forget the reality of destroyed cities, they go underground for a while. Underground spaces are the places with sorrow, happiness, fear, and all kinds of emotion from the Civil War. But some kids gather up and talk about their dreams in the future. In this miserable underground place, they understand how precious a peaceful daily life is, and they think of happiness and cheer each other. Even under life of refuge from the borderline to the world, kids are kids. They're not afraid of airplanes, and they're learning how to have a common life through friendly games like jump rope and playing with a ball. Though they are just children playing general games, some kids cannot enjoy these games because of shock and trauma from the Civil War. This is a school in a refugee camp. While the classroom is located at a relatively safe place from bombing, it is a very poor environment, as children are studying on a cold floor with no light. People fighting with knives, a soldier with a gun, a house demolished by a bomb. Scribbles of drawings by children show wounds and scars of war. Education in this place is secure and gives safety, order, and friendship to children destroyed from the war. Another air raid and bombing by ground forces began. Screams do not stop from destroyed buildings of a refugee camp school. A father is looking at the dead body of his young daughter on a truck. He had to say goodbye forever with his unanswered daughter. Here, we learn love, peace, and hope. Please stop the war and return Syria back to how it was back then. We would like to go back to beautiful Syria, where we could play with friends freely.